And here's today's other news spotlight. The Chinese Americans are up in arms over a bill in California that, if passed, could jeopardize the future of Asians seeking a college education. Yes, it's the old affirmative action thing, only this time, African Americans are not the prime beneficiaries. For a straightforward take on this issue, here's an excerpt from China.org.cn's report. Reports say that if the bill is passed, the affirmative action, also known as positive discrimination, will be restored in California, and the proportion of Asian Americans admitted to California universities will drop from 36 to 13%. Affirmative action was first used in the United States in the 1960s. It intended to give African Americans and other disadvantaged groups equal access to education and employment. However, reports say Asian Americans have not benefited. Worried that the other states may follow suit and make it even more difficult for Asians to study or find a job in the U.S., Chinese Americans in New York have launched a campaign asking all Asian Americans to protest the bill. Analysts say it's no coincidence that the bill was proposed in California. Records show the ethnic Chinese population makes up 15% of California's total population, while the Hispanic population makes up over a third. What's it called? The politics of addition? What can you do? And as you can imagine, top Chinese Americans in California had a mouthful to say about that. Well, here's the Global Times account. Norman Xu, a former school district board member of the Hacienda La Puente Unified School District, said that the U.S. should tell students that they need to study hard to get into a good university instead of relying on the law. If this amendment is passed, he said, it will have an adverse effect on Chinese students who perform relatively better than students of other races. He said this is unfair. The amendment allows California public schools and universities to lawfully discriminate or provide preferential treatment. Alex Chen, a board director of the Huazhong Science and Technology University alumni in the University of Southern California, said, and I quote, SCA 5 will infinitely harm the core interests of Chinese Americans. As the U.S. Latino population increases, other states will imitate California. It will affect the overall competitiveness of the United States. And the Chinese American who has been observing American two-party politics for a long time said that the Democratic Party is doing this to win in the midterm elections. Well, it's understandable why Asian Americans are incensed. The amendment is clearly not based on merit and defies the spirit behind higher education. Now, the Shanghai Morning Post provides us with some revealing data. Of students enrolled in the University of California system, 36% are Asians, 28% white, 27% Hispanics, and 4% African Americans. If the referendum passes the amendment, the proportion of Asian students in California public universities would drop from the current 40 to 15%. One Chinese American state senator said, and I quote, those universities enroll students based on their comprehensive abilities. Asian students made it because they are performing very well, not based on race. I believe that the amendment will certainly be rejected by Californians in a referendum. Well, you better hope so, but unfortunately, the odds are stacked against Asian Americans. And that's around the world. But when we return, local China stories on our regional roundup.